Good evening, family. Good evening. Good evening. Um, welcome to this important live. JT better than ever. Um, subscribe and like to my channel, The Underrated Darkness. Let's get them likes and the views up on my past live streams and videos. Very much appreciated. Share the past live streams and videos too. Plus share this. Hit the bell. And let's see the topic. Very important tonight. Might be possible panel might be panel participation. Don't know yet. Still gotta think about it. Shalom to you, sister. Family, we have to talk about Supreme Court nominee Kavanaugh and Nato. I'm gonna be reading some articles about it. And like I said, possible. I will be after that. I might have panel participation. If you want to come on, drop your email in the live. Drop your email in the chat, and I'll plug you up. But anyway, let's get this announcement out the way. Again, Sister Lovely K, thanks for coming. Hold on, let me get this out and the rest of the people. If you want to know more about me, Jerry Thomas, that's my Facebook page. Also, I have a Facebook group, all in caps, JTMVP, Thinking for Ourselves. Also, I have a Twitter account, all in caps, at JTBlackman44. And my Instagram account, lower caps, The Underrated Darkness. Also, I have a joint venture with my brother, Ernest Jones. It's AnsAllToys.com. We threw out social media. Again, AnsAllToys.com. Check us out. Wherever you purchase, you put in my code that I created, MVP, you get 10% off, and it's Black owned. So check us out then. Also, within a few months, in November, I will be doing midterm elections of our perspective. Again, midterm elections of our perspective. That'd be sometime in November. So when I know the date, I'm gonna let you know. Most likely, it's gonna be an MSNBC. Usually be throughout mainstream media, but I like MSNBC because they be accurate. So check that out, and let's sacrifice that night to know what's going on in our community all around this country, and it's very important. So it's time to talk up for our rights as melanin people. All right. Now, like I said, share the stream. You see it? Gonna wait for some more people. Marquita, thanks for coming. Thank you so much. Gonna wait for some more people. As you see the chat. Let me see the title. Family, we have to talk about Supreme Court nominee Kavanaugh and Nato. I'm gonna read about Nato too. I'm gonna break it down. We'll break it down. How it's connected to us as a people in this USA, and plus the rest of the world. I'm gonna wait for some more people to come in, because I don't want nobody to miss this. And very important. I wanted to do this a while back, but at the time I didn't know what really was going on. In the politics, he was a lot. You know how Trump is. He like to be here and there, stuff like that. But trust me, tonight I'm gonna tie all this in. And like I said, possible it might be panel participation or may not. I don't know. It depends how I feel. and depends people who wants to voice their opinion. So we're gonna wait for some more people. My day was good. I was okay. Did a little laundry. Glad, like, and I cook a little bit, something, old to new and everything. I did that and everything. And also, oh, I forgot. I'll be having an underrated show on this channel, underrated sports show. I mean, with my brother's Sheep Stay Sleep TV. That's every Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Again, every Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. It's the underrated sports show with my brother Sheep Stay Sleep TV. We're gonna talk about I think we're gonna do some about politics and business in the NBA. So I want you to stay tuned for that this coming Monday. Um, every Sunday I do cook and I do fellowship. Sometimes I do breakfast. Sometimes I do have lives on sometimes on Sunday mornings, depends on it, but usually always on Sunday afternoon. I mean early Sunday night I'll be cook, show people my food, but the purpose is that so we could fellowship together. So it's not all about the food. So we could learn to fellowship together, learn to sit down and talk to each other. Not talk at each other, but talk to each other and build a bond back in our family and our community. So that's what it's all about and everything. So I push that. So I want y'all to stay tuned to that. Chocolate Soul Lounge, that was very good. I want you to check my channel on that. It came out real good. I believe it's almost 190 views. I appreciate that, fam. Let's get 200 and let's go 200 and better. Check this out. I'm working on do some Chocolate Soul Lounge part 2. That be very soon. I don't know. I don't know. It's gonna be do I do the summer or on the fall? Excuse me, family. I don't know what that's gonna be. So watch out for that. But I got some things coming up. We're gonna wait for some more people to come through. If not, I'm gonna get this thing going. And so I know in Virginia right now it's raining off and on and everything. So gonna get this thing cracking. Got 5 people come in. Come through, come through. Well, I'm glad both sisters y'all doing okay. Oh, okay, that's good. So, Marquita, where you at? Is it raining where you at? Is it how the weather out there where you at? She Stay Sleep TV. What's going on, brother? Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. Wait for some more people to come in. I'm waiting for probably wait for like 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes. Then we're gonna get this thing going. Like She Stay Sleep before you came in. Um, I'm gonna read about see the title. I'm gonna read about articles on both of them. It might be possible panel participation or not. It depends how I feel. But I'm gonna tie all this in. And us as Maryland people, we better understand what legislation that we're dealing with. We gotta understand the language about it, the wording and everything. So we have to understand that, family, Like I put up there, no more phantom fights. Fighting fighting phantoms. You know, fighting the boogeyman, the boogie woman. Gotta stop that. That's hurting us. Right? So, but I'm gonna tie all this in. I'm gonna wait for like I said, about another 3-4 more minutes. Not then I'm gonna get this thing going. I want to be fair, so people can get in everything. You know. But it's very important that we have to know about what's going on in the U.S. waters, also international waters, and it does play a part right now that we in. So I'm glad Sister Lovely K coming. Aquita, she stay asleep. Glad you came. Very much appreciate that you take all your time. You know, hear the brother out. But I'm coming with a hot one. This is very serious. This is very serious. And this is after this tonight, this should be a continuing conversation often with anybody that you know. Go out to eat dinner with your family or your friends or whatever. Just got to be a continuing conversation. When I be reading about you, when I be reading about tonight, it's going like, what? Yeah, that's what's up with me. So, okay, get some more people come in. Again, title, family. We have to talk about Supreme Court nominee, Kavanaugh, and Nato. And I'm going to read about Nato too. Watch out for Nato. Woo! Orange Crush 45, something else. Something else. Now, I was going to do NATO first, but I said, nah, I'm going to say NATO last because I'm going to tie all that in. Y'all going to find, you'll see. You're going to see what the darkness, the underrated darkness is going to do. I got you covered. I got you covered. Another minute. Another minute, we're going to get this thing cracked. But I'm glad people showed in the chat. Yo, get that person out of here. Okay. No trolls up in this piece. I think it's little hand sanitizer dirty box boy. Little rice-a-roni tree boy. Little food lion dirty sardine boy. We see, hold on, Lovely K. Hold on. Right here. Little dirty sour carnation boy. Well, family, we gonna get this thing cracking. But the first, I'm gonna read about Supreme Court nominee Kavanaugh, and she, Stacey, if you still on, most likely I might ask you to come to the panel. All right, I don't know yet. Depends how I feel. All right, this is about the Supreme Court nominee Kavanaugh. I want y'all to listen to this. All right, Kavanaugh appointed to reverse civil rights gang groups and one. And sisters, I want y'all to listen to this too, because it's very important now. It's very important, sisters. You got to get this. You got to get this. Brothers too. All right, here it goes. It's by Al Youngs. It usually say, let's see. It's alizaja.com. I guess is the group. He used Alizaja. He was a news reporter of CNN. One of the few people that always talk up for talking for injustices and stuff. So I think that's him. I'm not sure. Don't quote me for that, but looking for that. But it goes like this: it's right groups in the U.S. Hold on, let me read it again. Right groups in the United States has sharply criticized Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh, warning that the appointment of President I'll try to call Orange Crush. I'll be nice. Donald Trump pick will reverse hard-earned civil liberties for African American women and other groups. Trump on Monday chose Kavanaugh, who sits on the federal court appeal of District Columbia Circuit, to replace retired Judge Anthony Kennedy. I'm gonna hold that point right there. I'm gonna get to that. That means that he gonna be watch over. He gonna be over like hundreds of prosecutors, and that means that they could bring their own language, like white supremacy, Nazis, and stuff. Legislation. Understand that, family. Legislation. That's how white supremacy works now. It's the mindset, the symbol, and legislation. Remember that, all right? I want you to keep up. I want you to understand what I'm saying. All right, continue. It confirms by the Senate the 53-year-old Kavanaugh is poised to remain on the bench for years, come cementing conservative control in the country's top judicial body. Currently, the court has a 5-4 majority of conservative justices, with the 81-year-old Kennedy, who was announced his retirement last month. Yeah, it was a punk move he did, having been the crucial swing vote on a number of important decisions. And third, the court can vote either way on any issue, but a Kavanaugh confirmation will swing it more considerably to the right. With Justice Kavanaugh on the Supreme Court, we could see reverse of hard-won gain, securing equal opportunities in education, employment, and housing. National Association for Advancement of Colored People, that's NAACP, in parentheses, said in a statement. What's up, Casmajit? I spoke. We can see further exclusion of communities of color from participation in our democracy. We could see racism continue to flourish within the criminal justice system. The groups, the U.S. largest organization promote the civil rights of African Americans added. We have a president whose statements and policies are rooted in racism. We have an administration reverse civil and human rights as every turn. We have one justice and 1 dozen of judges appointed because of their proven hostility to civil rights. And I'm going to talk more about that. That's going to tie into NATO. Watch out for that. All right. Trump legal trouble. Benedict Gupper, president of CEO of the Leadership Conference of Civil and Human Rights, an umbrella coalition of more than 200 civil rights organizations in the U.S., likened Kavanaugh to Trump. A property tycoon said he will protect rights of the wealthy and powerful all the rights of all. I'm gonna hold that point for 1 second. Now, why? And I'm gonna tell you why a lot of organizations had liked this move, because a lot of them is making money, and they also had conservative. It had conservative money. They had conservative favors, and then on top of that, they had right wing racist attitudes that deals within this legislation. So I want y'all to understand this. They had his hand in it for a long time. They be waiting for this. We'll be waiting for this, because that means that when we want equal rights, they even though that we know that is violation, but the language what they talking about is in legislation. Legislation. Understand that, family. Legislation, and it's going to spread out all through the world. But when I get to NATO, when I read that later on, you know what I'm talking about. Gupar argued that the president made his choice with legal trouble in the mind that someone like Kavanaugh will eventually protect him against the special counsel Robert Mueller. Now, special counsel Robert Mueller, he is investigating of Trump the violation of the 2016 elections. Okay, he's the one doing so. That name sounds familiar. That's where he is. Ongoing investigation into allergic coalition between Trump 2016 election campaign and Russia. Kavanaugh said that is a sitting president should not be criminally indicted. That's funny. No matter what evidence wrongdoing is uncovered, Gupar said in a statement. Yeah, funny cat he is. In a teleconference on Tuesday with reporters, Al Sharpton, a civil rights and activist founder of the National Action Network, leading civil rights organizations in the U.S., accused Republican-controlled Senate of double standard. In 2016, Republicans, led by Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, managed to hold off of hearings. Then President Obama's Supreme Court nominee, Chief Justice Merrick Garland, for nearly a year, said that Obama's successor should be the one make the choice, and that is very, very true. That is double standard. Women, you need to read this. Good brother Rob, our educator in our community. Thanks for coming. Might need you too with a panel for women's rights. For his part, NAACP vowed to fight Kavanaugh nomination, say the confirmation process should be postponed until after the elections of new Senate in November midterm elections. That's what I was talking about that I'm going to do on my live in November. Derek Johnson, the president of president and CEO of NAACP, told Al Jazeera that his organization immediately called for action. It would be to have its members across the U.S. express their views, Senate, in their states, and urge them to oppress this nomination. Christine Clark, president and executive director of Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights under Law, meanwhile accused the Trump administration of being relentless in its efforts to revert civil rights legislation that affords protection and women. Also speak in the media teleconference, Clark highlight the Supreme Court landmark 1970 Roe versus Wade ruling that the legislation of abortion in the U.S. Sisters, I want you to pay attention to this. Trump has been unequivocal that he intends to appoint a justice that will overturn Roe versus Wade, said Clark. Justice Kavanaugh is preparing to carry forth Trump's agenda, she added, and gut the Affordable Care Act, referably to Obama health care law, widely known as Obamacare. And us as a people, we should fight for this. I'm talking about us as we should fight because we all, majority of us has benefit of Obamacare. Okay? Now, the ones who think about religion, I want y'all to hear this, family. Religious freedoms. Muslim American civil rights groups and express concern that Kavanaugh nomination will emboldened the Trump administration to carry on with its hostile towards Muslims and immigrants. That's what we've seen already. Last month, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled in a 5-4 decision to uphold Trump controversial order to block the entire most people of several Muslim majority countries in the U.S. And then, yeah, you talk about Muslims, but it also talk about other religions throughout the USA. Got to point that out because they're not going to take it. During the presidential campaign, Trump called for total and complete block of Muslims entering the U.S. Speaker to Azada Naha Awad, National Executive Director of Council of America-Islam Relations, CAIR, says that the Senate must grill Kavanaugh on his view on civil rights and presidential powers. Because of Donald Trump openly Islamophobia, white supremacy, and racist views and politics target minor and immigrant communities, it is incumbent upon the Senate to question Mr. Kavanaugh about his opinions on the protection of civil rights, religious freedom, and the rights of immigrants, he said. Now it goes to show you, family, that we're going to be in a fight. Now I'm talking about us as a people and also through our humanity. Now I'm going to pull up NATO. And like I said, that if I'm going to have, most likely she, Stacy, and Brother Rob, good Brother Rob, might ask you, if anybody else want to join the panel, feel free. All right. No problem if I decided to. We're going to read about NATO and stuff like that. I got to look for the, okay. Trump opened NATO summit with blistering criticism of Germany labels allies delinquents. Okay. This is about NATO, family. The summit. Okay. Brussels, CNN. This article's from CNN. Okay. President Donald Trump came out brawling of his first public comment here at the outset of NATO annual summit, accused of close U.S. allies being captive of Russia, calling members of other alliance delinquent, their defense spending, and since they increase it immediately. Now, I want y'all to understand this part. Now, the people that he talked about that is good is the North Korea, all of them that violated human rights. Those are the ones he want to want to be on alignment with them. The ones that want world peace, the ones that want to work, especially with the United States and throughout the world. He do not want to work with them. He called them weak, but you won't connect the dots. All right. I want y'all to think what I said now. I want you to think on it now. Okay. Trump provocative comments on Wednesday morning, particularly those aimed at Germany, set by the tone of first day of NATO annual summit, amplified the sense of uneasy among United States close European allies, giving Trump a chance once again to shine a spotlight on the unvented burden sharing among the alliance members. The incentive distract from the summit goal to project unity in the face of Russia aggression, even as Trump and NATO leaders jointly agreed to voice their defense to deterrence capabilities head off Russian threats. Instead, Trump fueled a narrow discord within the alliance just days before he head to Helsinki to meet Russian President Vladimir Putin. This little bitch. Had to throw that back. Okay, Rob. Trump suggests NATO countries double their defense spending goals. The Helsinki summit prepared to offer another jarring international affairs contrast, and Trump has already suggested that he is the most forward-looking to his meeting with Putin doing his European swing. Now I'm gonna leave this right there. Of any summit that United States or the whole world had, there has never been that a president want to see another foreign leader by themselves. It never happened that way, but it looks like it's going to happen. It's going to happen. That is not good for us in America. I'm just talking about the politics in America. Okay, it's not good for us. Okay, want y'all to think on that too. He is most looking toward his meeting with Putin doing his European swing. I have NATO, I have the UK, which is in somewhere in turmoil, and I have Putin. Frankly, Putin may be the easiest of them all. Who would think? Who would think? Trump said on Tuesday as he left the White House. Europeans' concern has already set ahead of Trump arrival on the continent following weeks during the U.S. president has increasingly and voluptuously aired out his grievance against many of them. And these are the same ones that he aired out that they want peace for everybody. I got to throw that in too. Trump singularly that he would take an aggressive approach in Brussels as he departed the White House in viva mid-air tweets aboard an Air Force One, but the U.S. President direct criticism of close NATO ally Germany and his ongoing airing grievance on European soil took his criticism up a notch. But see, I'm gonna hold this point right here. What I don't like about this NATO summit that there's nobody look like us has been part of this, and that's the point that I'm very agitated over. But that I will talk about it hopefully, in a few. So, or we'll go into that if I don't forget. So if I forget, family in the chat, remind me. The Common Force of NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg to twist himself into the diplomacy personal as he fielded repeatedly questions about Trump comments and what they signal about the fate of cohesion of the alliance overshadowed the major accomplishments signed by NATO leaders just communicate. In the history of NATO, we had many disagreements, and we have been able to overcome them again and again. Stoltenberg said the start of his news conference Wednesday, Germany is a captive of Russia, and that is a lie. Hold on, family. Hold on. Let me get this out. People send me some stuff. Okay. Trump leveled his sudden, unexpected criticism of Germany during a working breakfast with Stoltenberg at the outset of the day, pointing that Germany relies on natural gas, accused the country of being totally controlled by the captive of Russia. Germany is a captive of Russia, says Trump, who faced mountains of criticism, praising and seeing warm relations with Putin. And Putin is a prime minister of Russia. He is the main part of cyber interference of the 2016 elections. Okay, we gotta remember that. Germany is the capital of Russia, says Trump, who had faced miles of criticism, praise, and seeing warm relations with Putin. Okay, and very appropriate. In certain doesn't make sense that he would pay billions of dollars to Russia, and we had to defend them against Russia, Trump said, setting off a proper debate with Stoltenberg, who maintained despite these differences, NATO allies have always been able to unite around the core test to protect and defend each other. Trump rejects Stoltenberg's reasoning, arguing Germany was making Russia richer. How can you be together with a country that's getting energy from you, was protecting against from a group that you want to protect against, Trump said, asshole. Meeting with German Chancellor Angela Merkel later that day, Trump played nice for the counter, insisting that he and Merkel had very good relationship and congratulated her for a tremendous success despite his early insult on Germany's sovereignty. Trump declined to address his early comments, merely confirmed that him and Merkel discussed the issues of German imports and Russian gas, and the tariffs is going to, if he put this on, the tariff is going to hurt the truth. And I might talk about that later on. Later Wednesday, it was time for French President Emmanuel Macron to be brought into the controversy. Asked where he believed Germany is beholden to Russia, as Trump claimed, Macron quickly disagreed. No, Macron said, sit alongside U.S. President on the sidelines of the summit. Macron added that he and Trump just discussed this and said, we work together. German Defense Minister Ursula von der Leyen had preemptively rebutted concerns about any German dependency on Russia in the Tuesday interview with CNN Christian Alapolis, saying Germany has very divisive mix of energy supplies. Leyen also noted that Merkel has been at the forefront of the diplomacy effort to curb Russian aggression in UK. Trump also singled out Germany for particular criticism as he continues to assault NATO allies to fall to spend 2% of their GDP on defense spending on target NATO allies agreed to meet by 2024. Trump erased that timeline as he stepped his call to increase defense spending, say allies should do so immediately, and they do that be gonna be a disadvantage to the countries of NATO. I need to throw that in for human rights and unions and stuff, etc. I think these countries had to step it up, not over the 10-year period, but they have to step up immediately, Trump said, pointing to Germany in particular as a rich country that could increase defense spending immediately tomorrow. Have no problem that it's not true. Addressing report within hours of Trump comments, Merkel told German contributions to NATO and in defense U.S. interests. Germany also have lots of NATO. We are out the second donor of troops. We put most of our military abilities into service of NATO. We are strongly committed in Afghanistan, where we also defend the interests of the United States of America. Because of the deployment in Afghanistan had to do with only examples of Article 5, Merkel said upon arrival of NATO headquarters Wednesday. Merkel also noted that she grew up in Germany during the time when parts of Germany was controlled by the Soviet Union, and sadly it still is. Importantly noted that the German can form their own independent policies and can make their own decisions. And if y'all remember back in the Reagan years, Reagan was telling them, break down that wall, East Berlin. And now that was part, he was fighting, talking about Russia. And then that's when Germany, had the independence and stuff. So I need to throw that in. And now they're trying to want to bring the old times back. Germany now, their own independent policies can make independent decisions. By even meeting the 2% threshold may not satisfy Trump, who can Wednesday also suggest publicly to NATO leaders that they double their commitment to spending 4% of their GDP on defense. During the president remark today at NATO summit, he suggested that countries not only meeting their comment of 2% of their GDP on defense spending, but they increased to 4. White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders confirmed in a statement. Excuse me. According to the latest numbers from Nato, the U.S. doesn't even spend much as Trump is calling other countries to. Trump claimed early Wednesday that the U.S.'s accurate numbers spend 4.2% of its GDP on defense, but the U.S. is officially expected to spend an estimated 3.5% of its GDP on defense this year, according to NATO. In confidential, U.S. president has become a norm in the West. Most recently, he is infuriated the top allies of the G7 summit in Quebec. That summit turned into fiasco when Trump took aim at the summit host, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, soon after he departed the meeting. Trump is facing a similar sentence in Brussels as NATO members countries had gathered for Alliance annual summit, while Trump continued to fume about insufficient defense spending from the European allies and unfair trading relationships. Trump sent threatening letters to NATO allies ahead of his visit, warning key allies could lose U.S. support unless they ramp their defense spending, and as part of the move with Russia. Responding to Trump's recent criticism, or perhaps anticipating more, European Council Donald Tusk offered a rebuttal ahead of Trump's arrival on European soil. Dear America, appreciate your allies, Tusk said on Tuesday. After all, you don't have that many. Facts. Tusk also urges NATO members to spend more on defense, but noted money is important, but generating solidarity is more important. Trump controversially stroking tweets ahead of his arrival in Belgium matched similar attempts by the U.S. president to sow discord and Project Strength ahead of his excuse me, an arrival of G7. In Quebec last month, he criticized allies over trade before arriving to glad hand his foreign counterparts, and if nothing has happened, this time has focused called out his sense that the U.S. has been bear unfair burden of the NATO alliance defense code. Many countries of NATO, which we are expected to defend, are not short of their current committee of 2%, in parentheses, which is low, but are also delinquent in many years of payments and that have been made. Will they reverse the U.S.? Trump tweeted on Tuesday, quickly followed up that tweet on one accusing the European Union to make it possible for our farmers and working companies to do business in Europe. And that is a lie, because of the tariffs that he is put upon other countries. They make it's him and the other allies that on him that are dictators. They making it hard even for American workers. We have to understand that. Salute to you, Mama Rika. Thanks for coming. Okay, U.S. Ambassador to NATO Kay Bailey Hutchinson, meanwhile, emphasized the importance of strengthening the allies ahead of Trump visit, indicate that some cognitive dissonance with the president. The major deliverable The major overall thing is this summit is going to be NATO strengthening unity. Hudson told on call preview the summit before kicking down the list of NATO plans to boost the alliance, and that's what Trump do not want to do. And while she noted the emphasis, Burton sharing Hutch's focus on the facts, and everyone are allies. 100% are increased defensive spending. Knows that allies are on track to make 2% pledge regard on defense spending as proportion of GDP. And this is CNN. Caitlin Carr contributed to this report. And the one thing, anybody want to get on the panel? I decide I'm gonna have some people on the panel. Anybody want to get on the panel? Feel free. And matter of fact, I'm gonna listen to anybody. No. See. Hold on, family. But we have to discuss about this. When I get somebody call on there. But I'm just want to say this, that this is very important. What I read about Kavanaugh, the Supreme Court nominee, and all this tied in together, because we have, when I read this, and I want y'all to get this, I'm talking about us as a people. We are actually seeing white supremacist dominance, and I'm talking about legislation now. That is throughout the world. This been there for a very long time, but now you really start seeing the allies. You really start seeing Orange Crush 45. He want to be in alignment of hatred. He want to be in alignment to oppress poor people around this world. He want to oppress people that want to do what's right, want to take care of his family, take care of the land, and do whatever it takes. But at the same time, NATO, what I don't like about NATO, they do not have anybody that look like us as a people. But at the same time, but these are the same countries that want to bleed Africa. That want to bleed our Caribbean brothers and sisters, and even in this USA and throughout the world. And we have to understand that we cannot let NATO out of this either. But what Trump is doing right now, he playing a dangerous game. He played a dangerous game of our people. He played a dangerous game that the tariffs, if most like it's going through, if we have businesses, I'm talking about agriculture, or you work in the tire field, or you work in the car field, or vegetables, whatever, he going to whatever countries that export us, that we work in conjunction, that's going to be gone, because it's going to be too much money to buy the goods. And it's not going to happen just in the U.S. It's going to happen throughout the world. So that means us as melanin people internationally is going to be hurt. And go back to Kavanaugh, he is going to be monitoring hundreds of prosecutors. So that means what I said at the beginning of the stream, they're going to put their own racist language in this legislation. And we got to fight against that as a people and poor people. Now, let me explain that. Us as a people and working class people for humanity. But I'm talking about us as a people now. Because the Judge Kennedy, he retired a few weeks ago. It was a swing vote to bring that fool in, and he retired. So he said, okay, I don't have to do, I retired and stuff like that. So we should know how the conservative is, and also some Democrats here. We can't leave Democrats off the hook either. Some of them. That's why I always say that is very important that we have to know certain legislations in our community throughout of this USA and even around the world. Because our rights and our human right is not being mentioned. Our human rights is not being seen. They still consider us the low human pole of the race. That's why sometimes it's very important to watch TV. Sometimes that means you gotta watch politics, what's going on, and you have to put yourself in that situation, because they catch a cold, we catch a flu. And the only way that we're gonna know about stuff like this, we have to read, we have to learn about the legislation. We have to learn. See, people, when I talk, I want y'all to read, I want you to read the beginning of the chat what I said. Let me go, let me hit this up, let me hit up top. Let me go up here. It says tonight, 9:30 p.m., JT is kicking the truth. No more phantom fights, us as a people and the rest of humanity. We got to start having these phantom fights. We got to start fight. We got to learn to strategize, fight for the real fight. And the real fight, how to slow down or defeat white supremacy, is legislation. We cannot go think about marching. We cannot do. We got to go head to head of legislation. We have to understand that it's throughout globally. We have to understand that. Because if not, we're gonna be slow come to the gate. I got something else to put. I'm gonna read about something else. Read about tariffs. How the tariffs could hurt us as a people. Okay. I'm gonna bring this up and I want y'all to listen for it. Listen this out. Today came out 3:05 today by Ted Barrett, CNN. Get this thing on. Read about the tariffs. They said the Senate overwhelmingly rebuked Trump with tariff vote. For the second day in a row, the Senate pushed back at President Donald Trump showed stiff resistance to his key policy decision on tariffs and NATO, even as present in a summit in the Europe wrestling with allies over those same issues. Senators voted overwhelmingly Wednesday call on Trump to get congressional approval before using national security as a reason to imposing tariffs on other nations, as he did recently with steel, aluminum, levies against Mexico, Canada, and the European Union. Now, the European Union, when they're talking about that, they're also in NATO. So they were down NATO too. The bipartisan is 88-11 tally on a non-binding result, sending a message to the White House about how frustrated senators are over Trump disruptive move on tariffs. Now, however, the future effort to pass enforceable legislation is likely face the uphill battle over Trump objection. Let's be clear. This is a report of the present abuse of trade authority, said Senator Jeff Flake, Arizona Republican, and frequent vocal critic of Trump policy. He will be retired in a few months. Can you imagine being in Canada and being told that your steel aluminum exporting are a national security threat? On Tuesday, the Senate voted 97-2 in favor of pro-NATO resolution, just as Trump was touching down on Brussels, blasting the security alliance on Twitter. A host of reasons, including that many nations don't spend 2% of their GDP on defense. The tariff measure was written by Senator Bill Corker, a retiring Tennessee Republican who chairs the Foreign Relations Committee, and Senator Pat Toomey, a Pennsylvania Republican and a free trade from steel productive state. They believe that this vote will help momentum to future tougher legislation, although it is not clear if they get this supermajority support in the Senate and the House to override a likely veto, especially if Trump worked actively against it. This is the vote for Congress to assume its rightful role, Corker say. It's a baby step. The measure will require congressional approval of tariffs issued under Section 232 of the Trade Expansion Act of 1962, which requires national security concerns to be driven reason to impose on the tariffs. Mexico, Canada, and European Union, longtime allies of the U.S., were incredible. They were considered a national security risk to the United States and issued tariffs against U.S. goods in response. Exclusive Trump-invoked War of 1812. Tesla Corp retreated over tariffs. That's what he said. That was very dumb. The vote on tariffs measure helps clear up another matter of Senate GOP leaders and Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley, who also worked diligently to get Trump judicial nominee confirmed. Flake loses ability of the narrowly divided chamber to block appeals court judges and leverage to force a vote on tariff measures that stall action in Judiciary Committee and on the floor while GOP work to find a way assuage Flake. Flake additionally insisted that he would only accept a vote on a substantive measure, but accept non-binding resolution instead. He told CNN he will lift his hold of those judges follow this vote. Now, this is very important, people. that is something to think about, tariffs. And Cat PY too, what's good? How you feel, brother? Glad you came. But hold on, fam, I'm looking for something else. It's Sunny Bay, Sunny Justice Bay. Welcome, family. Welcome. Subscribe to my brother. He got some good stuff on there. And I'm welcome that, Sunny Justice Bay. So subscribe to my brother, subscribe to me, Sunny Justice Bay. Welcome. Hold on, family. Yeah, okay. Now I know people want to know what is tariffs. It's a tax or duty to be paid on a particular class of import and or exports. There you go. I'm gonna read it again. Cappy Moore, thanks for coming. Tariffs, a class of duty to be paid on a particular class of import or exports. So when he gonna slack them tariffs on, most of it's gonna be hurt is be them poor countries. It's going, especially in Africa. And you know, and and we gonna be the ones be hurting. That goes further, that goes really deep in like exporting goods. Or they're talking about aluminum, talking about vegetables, canned goods. That some of us as a people who's with that. Thanks for subbing for me, Sunny Justice Bay. And let's sub to each other in here. So subscribe, and participate. Yours truly, the underrated darkness. But this is happening right now, family. This is what white supremacy is doing. And they be doing for us is a long time. They hit us in economics, they hit us everything we can. But the sad thing about it, we refuse to learn the legislation. We refuse to learn the language, the behavior of what they do. And let's be loud and clear. Putin, the prime minister of Russia, he got something over that Orange Crush 45. And he playing him like a violin. And he making them do certain things. Now, there are some people that they said Trump following, American values of what's going on in democracy and stuff. Yeah, we could say that. That is very true. That is very, very true. So, What we have to do is we have to think. Are we still going to have these phantom fights? Or we're going to learn more about the legislation, what's going on, a lot of people, now I'm talking about white supremacy, and be collectively and fight against it. The question is, are we tired catching the flu as a people? Or damn it, we gonna get better and stand up against white supremacy. I'm talking about the legislation. I'm talking about the symbol. I'm talking about the mindset. Are we willing to do that? Because I read about Kavanaugh, he got his hands in it. I read about Nato, how Orange Crush 45 catching the hissy attack, because he's trying to break that up to make it easy for Russia, so Russia could take over Germany again, to make Germany weak and them other countries weak. And like North Korea, same thing. But like I said, what NATO did wrong, they did not bring anybody that looked like us into the conversation. So that means us as melanated people, it have to be up to us collectively to put our differences aside and fight against white supremacy. So we could be counted globally. And that is very important that we have to do that, family. We just cannot think that it's regional anymore. We just cannot think it just happened in the United States. It happened all over. Like I said, it's been going on for a long time. There's quite a few countries do not respect human rights. Want you to look at my hashtag. Let me see. Let me copy down my hashtag. No, hold up. Let me copy down my hashtag. Now I want y'all to copy after that. And I'm going to continue. Here it is. That's one of my hashtags. I feel that go good when we talk about what we ain't tonight. Black people, we part of humanity too. Whatever hashtag you want to copy, feel free. But that's the hashtag I break down. I want you to copy that town too. Copy that. But go more to this, that we have to know what we're fighting about too. Because you got a lot of racist corporations around the world. They want to break out this. They want to break up this ally. The NATO ally have been last for 75 years. In the United States and other countries. But they've been eating for a long time. But what about us as a people throughout the world? So NATO, I'm bringing the symbol parts of NATO, but NATO was never really our friend as people. If we selling goods, what I mentioned, you gotta give us our worth. We have to learn to sit at the table. And see, when them tariffs is ever going to be really, really implemented, I don't think they're going to be implemented because, like I said, the Senate stopped it. But if they ever implemented, I guarantee those corporations is not going to be part of it. The ones going to be part of it is working class around the world. That's how it's going to go down. So we must have these continued conversations. Was what I'm saying tonight. And anybody that votes on top of our people and everything, do it. Don't have nobody tell you what to do. Or you shouldn't do that because it's listen, do what you gotta do. But you have to question my brother Sonny said, where do you feel ones need to start? It depends what level you talking about, brother. What you talking about? Elaborate on that more. I'm saying this. In this oppressed system, I always say this, and I know people here in the chat too, but I would say this, brother. But I want you to elaborate what you're saying. I hopefully, because I'm all about solutions. That's what I'm all about. I'm not all about to be, we got to get where we can of this oppressed system, but at the same time, start our own system. So when the time, when we have it, we could leave this oppressed system so we can have ours or we could build it. We could have it. And I'm not saying you got to follow everything, but I'm just saying we got to learn to connect the dots. We got to be like I always said, we got to have the sharp eye of truth. And I said this last week, I'm gonna say it again. Have the sharp eye of truth. Your mind got to be clear and your lens got to be clear. That's the only way that the truth can motivate you, and we can act on it individually and in time collectively. Because trust me, as a people, we're in a fight. We're in a fight, P family. Well, we had to start. We had to start. We got to find solutions. And we had to like mind and we had to work collectively. If you want to come right now, Sonny, you can. See, put your email in the chat. You can come on right now if you want. I got a few more minutes. Any kind of wisdom, I welcome that. That's what I'm talking about. Because I don't close my mind of nothing. Anybody, this is me. That maybe majority don't know, that some of y'all know, but no. I don't care. I don't need to be a leader all the time. I know I'm a leader. I'm a leader. I already been there, done that. But to be a team player, that's the hell I'm talking about. That's what you call work. That's what you call maturity right there. To understand that the movement that we in, that is bigger than all of us. Hold on, brother. Hold on. Let me get you. Let me write this down. Anybody else want to step up and be on the panel? Drop your email like Sonny Justice Bay. I'm gonna let you know I copied down, brother. And after that, you can erase it. So let not yet. I'm gonna let you know. I don't care what religion you're in, what analogy you're in, it doesn't make a difference. My thing is this, that the liberation of our people. And you know, all this debate, and I can understand if debate is constructively okay. But the thing about, we gotta fight for the rights of our people. They still consider last of the race. And we create this world. Family. Anybody else that want to join the panel, drop your email down, and I got you. Sonny, my brother, I'm gonna put your email, so watch out for it, please. That'd be greatly appreciated. Hold on. I just said to you, brother, watch out for it. We have to do that more, family. We have to develop like-minded in our community, not just the ones we already know, but the ones that we don't know. And my brother Sonny has stepped up. Subscribe his channel. He got some funny stuff on there that makes you laugh, and sometimes we need that sometimes too. We really do. close this out. But that's what it's all about. And when you get, and I always tell people this too, respect each other platform. Seriously, because there's a troll came up here not to get them out. Respect that. And then if you have a little disagreement, that's how they feel. That's how they feel. Respect the platform. Respect that. My brother Sonny, let me know you got it. If you come on, just say something. All right? Because I know sometimes it be, watch out for the link, my brother. But I'm gonna keep on talking. If you don't have it, let me know. I'll send it out again. But see, that's what it's all about, family. This is serious stuff that I mentioned tonight. There's serious stuff that we have to really talk about. So waiting for my brother to come through. See what's up. I'm glad y'all came out tonight for support. That is greatly appreciated. Means a lot. But yeah, that's what we gotta do. And also, Trump trying to get another nominee, Supreme Court that is questionable, that conservative, and too. I sent it out, my brother. Thank you, Mama Rika. I hope you be catching it. I miss seeing you too. Need to come more. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Want to see you more. And hopefully one day you could join the panel too. How do look at your email. Look at your email, and it should say link. It's supposed to maybe it will be highlighted blue. You just click on that. So again, we got to stop these phantom fights. Got to stop. It's not helping us. I know some of us want to go, get some people that y'all, I know some of us want to fight against white supremacy, you know, the people and stuff like that. That's well and good. I'm not saying nothing wrong with it. Static is evil. But sometimes it's not the way you hit white supremacy, you gotta hit them with economics and legislation. Let me say it again. You gotta hit them legislation and economics. You gotta hit them. That's how you hit them. That's how you hit them. Let me check. I'm gonna say it out again. I don't know why I said that, but I'm gonna say it out again. Yeah, but that's very important. Say that again, Sonny, my brother. But and also we have to pay. Also, we have to pay attention of the city legislation in our community. The city, you got to pay attention to city, state. Also, there are some states like Commonwealth. You got to pay attention to the county legislation too. So pay attention to that. Oh wow, Big L, what's good? Hold on, Life Machine. That's what I'm trying to hear about these live streams because when you send them the link, they be acting up. I know one time I did a live, it took like two people got on it like about almost 30, 40 minutes. Oh, shoot. Hmm. See, it's in the chat. Okay, I got you. I got you, bro. What's up, Light Machine?
Not much. Thank you for having me.
No problem. But hold on for 1 second, please.
No problem.
All right, I'll get to you in a few. Okay, Sonny. Okay, Sonny. My brother Sonny, I send it to you. So watch out for it when you come in. Just make your presence felt. Kato, what's good, brother? Big shout out to Join His Magazine. That's his wife. Let me hit this. Yeah, family. Like I said, I'm gonna be here like in a few minutes, and after that, I'm shutting this down. But I want to get some people talking the panel about this. Is very important. How you feel tonight, my brother?
I'm doing fine, thanks.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Kate, I'll sit one out for you. We very much appreciate it, join, and sisters too, you can come in too. Okay. How long you was listening to my stream, brother? Or you just came in?
I just came in and I just saw the title.
Okay, which let me explain. Let me explain to the title for you. Let me see. Let me check the Yeah, I sent it, brother. I sent it. Watch out for it. I sent it. Hold on, brother. I'm gonna send it this way too. I sent it, brother. So watch out for it. But in United States, there's a lot of things has happened. You know, with Trump and his questionable appointees, and he trying to take it back in the days that the darkest day of racism and globally. And I'm talking about the tariffs. And you know what Trump said about, the leader of Canada, as you already know. And so I want to go more about. I want to talk more about, and then also they have this NATO summit. They've been having it for 75 years, and it's like almost every country they talking about peace. They had allies and stuff. So, excuse me, Donald Trump trying to break it up, and he want to be in alignment with the dictators like South Korea, other people and stuff like that. So, and we talking about the exports, imports and stuff, how the tariffs could hurt, especially us as a people that we have our hands in agriculture, aluminum, etc. And I'm talking about globally too, that could hurt us, especially like as you know, the Caribbean countries, we rely on fruit and other canned goods and stuff. That's how we make our money when we work with other countries. And Trump is talking about stopping all that. But on a NATO summit, none of us that look like us is not at the table. And that's what I'm very agitated about. So what I'm saying, you can go make you can go ahead and talk, brother.
Okay, first and foremost, with regards to his nomination of this guy that he'd like to put on. Generally, when these people make these nominations, they're looking for people who are going to do what they're told. Do what they're told. So whoever he nominates is definitely going to be a person who owes him something. It's like if I lend you money, now you owe me. A lot of these guys are desperate to get that position. So if he can get on in that capacity, now he owes him. So the same types of behavioral tendencies that Trump will have, it's very likely that this guy will have. So it's all about putting people into positions where you can control them and use them to do what you want them to do. Now, as it relates to representation, a lot of times what happens is that people are looking to have puppets out there. If you look at the economy right now, particularly in North America, things are on the decline. So, whenever the economy is on the decline, they are going to have to find some way to build up the economy through some sort of conflict. So these are things that have happened in the past. And if you look at situations like the Great Depression era, World War One, World War Two, and if you look at the Cold War, you see the same thing. A nation is in distress financially, so they go and they look to conflict with other nations. So what I can see is that he is trying to put in as many people as possible so that he can use them to do what he needs to be done. And contrary to what a lot of people are thinking, there are a lot of people who think just like him and support his views, his opinions. So this is not something that anybody should be shocked about. The other thing that I would mention is that you have these people who are pretending as though they are in opposition to this man, but undercover, they are in full support of this man, but they're just not bold enough to say it. Many of these people are incredibly disrespectful, and I'll give you a prime example. Whenever you read about him in the headlines, you always hear President Donald Trump. When Obama was in office, how did they refer to him? As Barack Obama. I'm sure people in the panel must have picked up on that. How often did you hear of him being referred to as President Barack Obama? A lot of times you'd hear him being referred to as Barack Obama, whereas the other guys before would be addressed as President such and such.
Okay. You mute yourself, brother.
Sorry, yes. Sorry, I just pushed that button. There's a little bit of noise on my end.
Yeah. Well, for me, you can hear me?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, for me, my brother, um, why I did this live stream tonight, that we have to understand how to fight white supremacy. And I'm talking about legislation, but like I always said, the mindset, the symbol, legislation. That's for me. And we have to understand that, like I explained to people in the chat, the family, that we had these phantom fights. And we gotta stop learn when we pick a fight, we better know how to conquer that fight. Now, everything that I explained, wherever the street in, I want you to go back and listen to it. Oh yeah, and the ones in the chat, drop a comment too. Very much appreciate it. Get them likes up and share this. That you even got corporations now is agreeing with this language, this racist language. And so, and also, they've been part of the elections. I'm talking about globally now. And so, when you have a person like Donald Trump, that I knew because he originally from New York like I am, I already know what he is. When you stop pushing this, the mindset of white supremacy and the Nazi, that mindset, that racist they carry all throughout the world, that could be a problem because you actually got some people that start writing the language now. Now, before then, they was keeping quiet. You hear there, you hear this here, you hear that here, and everything else. And it does trickle down of economics. It does trickle down of everyday living. And I'm talking about us as a people globally and working people, humanity. And you got some people that are racist out here. They don't even have a clue. They getting fucked over too. But of their skin color, they figure they're superior. But at the same time, the ones who look like them, some of them, they don't care about you. And that's how they get you. And after they finish with you, they throw you out. Next. And so what we have to do, I'm talking about humanity now. We had to fight for the ones that have been oppressed for a long time. We have to set an example. And I'm not talking about just us as a people globally because we always pick up the baton and we always there. Majority of us, I said. Majority of us. There's some of us that are not people, there's some of us as a people, they do practice white supremacy. Some of them know it, and some they don't know, or some they don't even want to know because they see that evil green. So, are we willing to stand up to them? Fight for our rights. Now, I'm talking about us as people. Are we willing to fight for our rights? Because they're not going to give it to us, be fair. They're not. Because I'm going to do it. I don't care. I've been fighting for our people for a long time, and I fight for humanity too. What's right is right, what's wrong is wrong. But for me, I'm not going to apologize to fight for our people's rights. I'm not going to apologize for it. And I don't have to. I don't have to answer to anybody. I don't have to answer anybody what I stand for. It's all about that action. You ain't all about that work, don't talk to me. And it doesn't have to be big. It can be small. As long as you get the job done, that's all that counts. You can go ahead, brother.
No problem. First and foremost, in any community, people have to develop an economic base. So, looking for others to do what you need to do for yourself is definitely the wrong strategy in any community. So, building an economic base is absolutely essential. And it's essential for people to take responsibility for their own communities, their own lives. So, when you have a situation in which people are disloyal and refuse to work with one another, there will be problems. For instance, look at a lot of communities that are down pressed communities. There are intelligent people in those communities, but the fact is that they need to come together and stop the back and forth nonsense and say, you know what, we live here, we are going to work to bring this place up and make this a safe and comfortable place to live. The reality is that there's a lot of blaming going on, and without the economic base, nothing can be done. So I'm very, very concerned when I see these characters running around talking about these very bizarre concepts that really don't do anything. If you don't have any money, you don't have any platform to stand on. So people have to set up an economic base, which means that they need to prioritize their money. They need to take their money and spend it on things which are going to be productive. You can't be taking your money and throwing it away on things that aren't going to value. Put it this way, you can't be making money and throwing it away on things that are losing value. For example, you shouldn't be driving a Mercedes Benz if you have nowhere to live. Here's something else. You need food to eat. So you need to take care of your basic needs before you move on. Because a lot of times what's happened is that people are not taking responsibility for their own communities. Mind you, there are people who are trying to sabotage them. But the good thing I can say with the Trump administration is that at least people who were once deceived can clearly see where they stand. It's not so much that this Trump guy is doing anything outside of the ordinary. He's
Mm,
just more open and displaying what he's about. Don't think that the other people in the political parties don't think along the same lines as this guy, but they will be more subtle in the way in which they deal with people. So with his administration, at least now you know exactly where you stand, and now you know exactly what you need to do. I'm going to give you an example. Take a look at a man who's begging on the street. He's a man just like us, and he deserves to be respected just like us. But generally, people do not regard people who are beggars. People have a tendency to regard people who are doing something which is self sufficient. They're trying to get something done. The reality is that the government can only provide certain amounts of employment. It's up to the communities to put together employment for people so that they have something to do. And they have to take responsibility for their actions.
you mute yourself
Peace.
again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. What you said? What you said before that?
So, what I was saying is that we have to take responsibility for our actions. I know that there are things that are set up that are messing people up. I understand that. But ultimately, we have to take responsibility. I'll give you an example of something. There's this guy, he is at this stage up in his 60s, and he's got all these conversations about this and that and the system and this and that. And one day I said to him, okay, you've got all these concerns. How many younger people have you employed? How many younger people have you given opportunities to? And he shut his mouth right there. I'm saying this to say there's a personal responsibility that's important. Like, for instance, there are instances where I've given opportunities to other people from my community to make some money. So we all have to look out for one another and say, you know what? I'm here, you're there, we can put something together and have something. But it's this greed. It's this greed and this disloyalty, which is a big, big problem. And people are able to exploit those sorts of things.
All right, there you go, Sonny. Right, mute your thing, brother. Till I call you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hold on for one
And
second. Like we see, finish what you saying. Then I'm gonna bring my brother Sonny on.
Okay, so the final thing I'll add to that is that people have to focus on what's absolutely important, which is the essentials, the fundamentals, and people have to be aware of what's going on. There's nothing wrong with going out and having a good time and partying and things like that. But people have to understand the history. People have to understand what has gone on before us in order to understand what will occur in the future. Because the past always manifests itself in the future. So when you hear a fool tell you, oh, forget about the past, that's a person you need to kick to the corner because the past always manifests itself in the future. So people are looking out now and they're thinking what's going to happen and the uncertainty. But all you need to do is look into the past to see what will happen in the future. I'll tell you what will happen very shortly. Very shortly, a conflict will occur, and they will use that conflict to basically make money and bring up the economy. Certain conflicts will occur, and they will use that. And like anything else, people are going to staff their place with people who will be subservient to them. So anything you see in this man, you're going to see that in the people he nominates.
Yeah, I understand it, but you know what I can say. Oh, you mute yourself again. Can't hear you.
No, I didn't mute myself. I'm here.
Oh, I just heard you. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I don't know what's going on. Can you hear me clearly on the microphone?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly. Yeah, I just heard
Okay.
you. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so I'm done. You can go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna say one thing, and then Sonny, you can come in after I said. What I could say, this brother, is this. I understand what you're saying, but this is what I'm saying. A lot of us have to survive for years. A lot of us, not making no excuse, but a lot of us, it's all about surviving. I'm talking like this because I was around it, and I still see it. There's a lot of us don't know our country, don't even know the history, don't even know they just all about surviving. And so when you talk about economics, so that means that what we have to do, the one we know, we got to take the time and show them, not just the young people, but the grown-ups too. Now, if they don't get it, they just don't get it. It's no problem. Ain't no biggie. But we just cannot just throw people away because they did something. Know that there's some know they do nothing about it. I understand that. But some of our people just don't know. You know what I'm saying? So we got to be in conscious with that. All right, brother Sonny, welcome.
and indeed, indeed. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, brother. Welcome.
Indeed. Thank you. All right. Well, first, I want to give high honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali.
Mhm.
I want to give a high honors to uh, the forerunner, uh, Marcus Garvey. I want to
Mhm.
give honors to you
Thank you.
and a brother on the chat. I want to give honors to everybody in the chat, the Hebrew Israelites, the Moors, the in the building. Honors to you all. Um, this is actually my first time doing this. This is like, you know what I mean? This is a treat. I appreciate you, honors, for inviting me in.
No
So
problem.
my measure, indeed, Islam. My measure on this situation is this: we need, as a people, to really start from the ground up. If you look at our situations from the time of slavery, nothing has really changed. Um, there was some attempts with certain brothers that builded certain community, and those communities were bombed by the Europeans. Um, but in my opinion, in this situation for our people, we need to understand that the condition that we're in right now. So, like, if you look on the corner, you don't see you don't see no Asians, no homeless Asians on the corner. You don't see no homeless Mexicans on the corner.
Hmm.
You primarily see Asiatics and Europeans. So, from my standpoint of for us getting to a better situation, it needs to start in the home. It
Hmm.
needs to start. We need to change the way we think. Like, this is so deep. This goes into World Star Hip Hop. You can go on World Star Hip Hop. We watching. We're fighting each other. We don't support each other.
Right.
We're a selfish people. So let me just speak on me. I just I am just embarking on a business. My business is called QP Trucking. My whole purpose of this business was, number one, to feed my family. Number two, to leave an inheritance for my children. Number three is to do my part in helping saving the nation by being able to employ uh, um, Asiatics off the street. You know what I'm saying? Teach them a trade, driving trucks, teach them a trade. They can get inside the truck and they can feed their families. Um, when you look at individuals like the quote unquote Jews, when they spend their money within themselves. Like, they support each other's businesses. The same when you look at the Asian people, the Chinese people. They got these Chinese stores that's out. They support themselves. They buy groceries from them. They support themselves, but we are all over the place, and that's due to the fact, from my perspective as a Moor, that the job that the European done to us when they stripped us of our nationality and divine creed. Now,
Right.
knowing that there's different people with different beliefs on this situation, so I'm not going to go into the Moorish aspect of it. But in my opinion, what can we do? Okay, so we're talking about Donald Trump. With any president, you have to look at, for one, we're so fractured as a people that we can't come together as a people and say, like, look, we're going to vote for this person, and we can go to that person's party, and we can have enough votes to be like, okay, we're going to vote for you, but these are the things that we need as a people to help us out. You know what I'm saying? So we can help you get in line, but we're so fractured that We want to be Democrat. We want to be Republican. We need to find something that we all can agree upon. Because the problem we have a huge problem because our people are a beggar nation. That's just the truth of it. We're a beggar nation. Like we shouldn't have to go to the government and beg them for money to do this or money to do that. We have the power within ourselves to create finances for ourselves. So, with that being said, the power is in the land. A lot of us don't even know that we can have our own court systems. We can have our own police force. You know what I'm saying? We like it's certain things that we can get done, but we're just so fractured. So it's going to have to start with every individual, and you're going to have certain sets of morals that, like, you know what I mean. You're just going to have to like. Is we're just so fractured as a people, man. So I was speaking of Donald Trump on the business aspect of it. By him being president, there's a lot of money to be made in real estate. There's a lot of money to be made in business. But the problem is a lot of the knowledge that they know, we don't know. And we don't care to look into that information to learn about certain loopholes and things that we can benefit from.
Mhm.
So, ones who are born with certain gifts and talents need to be really focused on that. They need to set goals. They need to use their birthright and write their visions down for their family. You know, we're getting married too early. We're raising families too early. We can't really, you know, uh, 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 take care of a family. Our situation is dire. So what we do, we resort to. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. You know what I mean? You can't talk to nobody on the street that's really hustling, and they're making more money than you, and you can't come to them with some knowledge with nothing to show for it. Cause like they making like the dudes in Baltimore, they making some guap down there. You know what I mean? Like they making some good money the wrong way, destroying our people. But we're not in a position to show people, you know, there's a different way.
Mhm.
So it begins with each one of us, each one of us that's on this chat right now. Each one of us on this chat has a gift that they can use to support their families. So what you need to do is you need to write whatever you're good at. You need to write that down. Like as far as a business, like what you want to do as far as the business, you know what I'm saying? And write it down. And once you write it down, then you do research on how to obtain whatever business that you're trying to do. And you check each one off one by one. And as you go along, um, you'll build confidence in yourself. This is not going to be a tomorrow thing. This is going to take generations because we need lawyers, we need doctors.
Mhm.
You know, Asiatics in school, they want to rap all day. They want to play football all day. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to be lawyers. They don't want to be doctors. Like, you know what I mean? They don't want to spend the extra 8 years in school. Use the Europeans' education and turn it around and build business for our people.
Mhm.
So case in point, I'm not just a block of wood pointing away. I'm actually trying to live what I'm saying. So my business, QP Trucking, I'll be getting my truck in like 3 weeks. I'll be subleasing from another Asiatic who's like the plug for me. He's putting me on. But I could have easily just went to an Asian, a Caucasian, and got a truck. But I'd rather pay. I rather support him and pay him for a truck. That's the way we need to look at things. And then when we run our business, we have to run our business in a way to where when our people come to us, that they don't feel like we're trying to take advantage of them. We running a crappy business. There's a lot of Asiatics out there that have businesses, but like we go to them and we get crappy service. So they like, well, I wouldn't have to put up this if I go to the Caucasian, and that's what many of us do.
Mhm.
So what I'm saying is, I think right now we're looking too high. We're looking at laws. We're looking at things that are too high because, like, truth be told, they got bombs. You know what I mean? They got a whole military that is very, um, very sharp. You know what I'm saying? They got this stuff together. All their paperwork is in order. You know what I'm saying? When we go inside of our houses are dirty. How are you gonna run I'm not just saying I'm not saying that anybody on the chat is dirty. I'm just saying like these are the things that I've seen. Like how are you gonna run a business if you can't even run your house? So it's gonna start with us first. It's gonna take it's gonna take more than one generation, man. It's gonna take people like you to want to bring people together to share information and to plant seeds in people's hearts to want to, you know what I'm saying, do
Mhm.
something different. You know what I mean? Because you got the Moors, you got the Hebrew Israelites, you got all these different, you know what I'm saying, religions or organizations that have different creeds. But there has to be a common ground to where we can come together and be like, okay, this is the person, like, say, for example, Baltimore. You know, you got different candidates that are running for mayor or governor. If you have a certain number of Asiatics that come together and be like, okay, let's decide on which person that we're going to vote for, you know what I'm saying, based on what we feel like our needs are. And then we go to that person, we're like, yo, we got this many votes for you. We can get you in, but we need this. We need that. That's how you move as a nation. Nations do trade with other nations. Right now, we're so fragmented that we can't do that. Like, we want to be Republican, we want to be Democrat. No, we need to be one. Like, we need to come together and decide what we're going to do. But like, it's going to take some people might have to, you know what I mean, lose their life. You know what I mean? I'm one of those persons that um I have a warrior spirit. I'm a bay. I'm an enforcer. So like, if I see a police officer doing something that he's not supposed to be doing to one of our people, I would intervene. But then you got people on World Star Hip Hop recording, you know, police beating us up or like we're beating each other up. You know what I'm saying? Our problem that we're having is not so much them, it's us. So my solution, even, you know what I mean, the people that who are in the chat room, you know what I mean, who really love their people, and I mean Asiatics. I'm not even speaking about more. I'm not speaking about Hebrew Israelites, Asiatics. That's a common ground. That's a word that we can kind of vibe on. You know what I mean? Exchange numbers, build on a plan to do certain things. And at the same time, you have to do it wisely because sometimes you can't talk on the phone all the time. Like we're having a discussion right now online, but we need to know that like even now this conversation is being listened to.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So like we're coming together, and honest to you for inviting me, man. I appreciate you for that. Um, and honest to the other brother that's on the line. He said some things that kind of, you know what I mean, it made sense. Like as far as finance, we all need to step our game up. You know what I'm saying? We need to stop watching so many videos. We need to stop doing this and that and focus on a business and be industrious for ourselves. Each one of us can have a business. If you can't have a business, then wherever you're working at, don't be the one that's always late. You know what I'm saying? Strive to be uh, uh, in management position so that you can look out for another Asiatic that wants to be in a management position. Like we don't even want management positions. Like I hate to say that. Like if you don't want to own your own business, that means you're gonna have to work for somebody else. Either it's gonna be an Asiatic or it's gonna be a European. Mostly it's European because Europeans they have, you know what I'm saying, they have the industry based kind of on lock. So if you don't want to be a leader, you don't want to own your own business, it's not for everybody. Everybody, you know what I mean? They might not be able to have their own business, but you can be a supervisor, a makeup supervisor, a foreman. Strive to be that. You know what I mean? Like, or if you're in position, like, try to go to school to learn so that you can be in that position, so that you can put other Asiatics on. We backbite so much. You know what I mean? Like we have a serious problem, yo, and it's not all our fault. You know what I'm saying? It's Willie Dent syndrome. Is AJ the Caucasians did a work on us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the thing is, we can dig ourselves out, but it's going to take some sacrifice. It's going to take some blood. It's going to take some time to where you can't have the fun that you want to have. Learn how to budget your money. You know what I mean? Like if you need to, if you gotta play the role of a secret agent and like you don't even like Caucasians, but like you don't know no Asiatics that got a lot of money, like try to learn from a millionaire to make some money, or somebody get into an investment club. Do things that's gonna boost your morale to want to learn more, because there's things out there that can make our situations better, but we just don't know the information. Like we don't know that through real estate you can put your children in school. Give you an example. If you bought a house, let's just say the house was $100,000, right? With a 30-year mortgage, if you made two extra payments per year, the house will be paid off in 15 years. Now, let's just say you bought four properties per year, right? Now, the first four properties, let's just say in 15 years, you paid them off, which means in 15 years, you pretty much gave yourself a raise. So if you're charging, uh, 900, let's just say after it's paid off, after those four properties, you get $1,000 just off of the properties. You know what I mean? That's $4,000 per month. You know what I mean? And that's just 1 year of four properties. Like it's ways out there that we can make money and leave an inheritance for our children, but we don't know it. And then we talking about Trump, you know what I'm saying? But look at the positives, the positives of what he has set out that we can learn. But the problem is, like, maybe he's thinking like we're so stupid that we won't even try to learn. You know what I mean? These secrets. You know what I mean? I got a cousin of mine. Not the I ain't gonna say his name or whatever, but he's learning from a European who's actually nice enough to teach him and his wife. She's a millionaire, how to do real estate, and he is in his late 30s, and he's living right now. He's debt free. So the only thing that he's paying is utilities and cable bills. You know what I mean? So if you have a gift, which all of us do, learn to cultivate your gift and work in that. You know what I mean? And live right. That's that. I can't say that more. Like if you're living grimy and you're trying to get things done, like karma ain't gonna treat you right. You know what I mean? Like doors are open for you if you're living right. Like don't be out there cheating on your shorty. Don't be, you know what I mean? Like live with some standards and some morals. Like we our people are missing that, yo.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So through what I'm saying, if I'm touching anybody, you know what I mean, just do a self inventory on yourself. You know what I mean? If you're down on child support, you know what I mean, figure out a way to get back, figure out a way to handle that because you can't buy no house if you got a huge child support joint on your credit because it's on your credit. So it's ways for us to get our situations together, but it's going to start with each person. But people need to link up, and it's important because you might have people in the chat that is in different areas. So like when you do visits and you go to different areas, who knows? Those can be means for businesses.
Yeah.
You know what
That's
I mean? Somebody could have a grocery store. You know what I mean? So like I can provide business for them. I can do their goods or I just think that's where it starts, man. But also it starts with people come together and they need to make a plan. They need to write down their visions, their goals, and just what I mean.
yeah. Yeah.
If you're a Hebrew Israelite, I'll say this one last thing. If you're a Hebrew Israelite and you guys are grouped in together, you guys need to have a plan for each other to support each other. For the Moors out there, you know what I mean? Like we need to be investing in the hood, like invest in them neighborhoods that's broken down. You know what I mean? Because we can clean these neighborhoods and up the value in it. The Jews are buying the hood in Baltimore, yo. Like we renting from the Jews and the Europeans when we can do the same thing.
New York too. Where I'm originally from. Yep.
So that was pretty much, man, my measure on the situation. I hope I hope what I mean the people in the chat got something from it.
Mm-hmm. Well, we are.
You
We
know
I
what I
got
mean?
see my channel is about. See, I'm all about advocating for myself. All about advocate. So I always push for like before you this is the way I feel before you wanna but you gotta help yourself. Wherever it is, get that out and advocate for yourself. So that's my channel is about. My channel is all about us as the people. We just do this, do for ourselves, but also reach out for the ones that's less fortunate. I'm not into that. Just help the ones that already been helped that they don't want. I'm not with that, but that's why I always said people say this, everybody in the chat, subscribe to each other and participate. If you have to go outside, get a number to get to know each other, or uh, um, do whatever you can help our people. That's what I'm all about, So I'm happy that you got on here. We did the wisdom that you get, and I'm happy to hear that, and it's very, very rewarding because we need to hear more of that, The dark is always going to be, I would say advocate for yourself. Get yourself together first, and then when you have the means, you go ahead and do it. You can start from small and work big. There ain't no problem with that. So I'm happy with that. Life
Can I say one more
machine.
thing, brother?
Now go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
All right, one more thing, man. This just dropped on my dial play, y'all. For the ones that are listening, pass this on what I'm about to say. Stop getting records, yo. Stop getting locked up, yo. You know what I mean? Because, you know, we need to be able to protect our families. You need to be able to legally buy a firearm to protect your family and your nation. You know what I mean? It's good to maybe get together with a group of people and like purchase a vacation home. You know what I mean? It'll help if for the ones that are married, it could be like a timeshare. Like, you know what I mean? Y'all can go there every once in a while, get away. Um, but at the same time, if something were to happen in a particular city, y'all have a place to go to. You know what I mean? So keep your record clean that you might be able to be in preparation for things that are going to come.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We're people right now, we're so fractured that we're not in position to handle whatever that's going to come. You know what I mean? So if you just link up with 5 or 10 people, you can have you a nice little spot somewhere in the mountains. You know what I mean? And have some stuff stashed away. And at the same time, while we're living in the era, an era of local peace,
Mm-hmm.
you can get away with your family. You know what I mean? Like get away with your family and enjoy yourselves and enjoy your families. But keep your record clean, yo. Listen to that little voice that's in your head. Don't be driving. You know what I mean? No, like just keep your record clean, yo. Just that's all I had to say, man.
All right, peace, brother. Stay right there,
Peace.
brother. Yeah, no, stay right there. I want you to stay right there because all right, Life Machine. Any comments? And I'm gonna read stuff. Well, I'm gonna make my comment read it out. Go ahead, bro.
Sure. So the previous guy who spoke mentioned a number of very, very crucial things which are correct, such as setting up a business in which you can pass it on from one generation to another, such as speaking about having various properties elsewhere. So those are definitely good points. A lot of times, what comes out a lot, and I know that things are changing because things cannot stay the same because people are now waking up to the reality of the situation. A lot of times, what's happened is that there is a major disconnect between some of the older folks and some of the younger folks. A lot of times, there is the blame game where the older folks are blaming the younger folks and things like that. And believe it or not, in a lot of cases, the people who are supposed to be mentors can be your worst enemies. For instance, let's say there's a guy in his 60s and he's supposed to be a mentor, and you're a younger man who is essentially excited about moving up. That can be the very guy who will try to dissuade you from reaching your full potential. So, as much as being united and working together is great, which is an excellent thing, you do have to watch out for the people who are detractors, because you have a lot of people with these titles and the this and the that, and they really don't want you to have anything. And that's one of the reasons why certain things haven't moved along in the way in which they should. It's imperative that the guys who have been around and have more experience provide the necessary guidance for guys who are coming up, to be able to take them aside and say, look, man, don't do this because that will happen. Or I did this and look what happened to me. So there has to be a situation where information is being shared, particularly financial information. You'll have an older guy who has a place for himself and will tell a younger guy, you know what, don't worry about anything and rent. So those are the types of people who have to be kicked directly to the curb, because they don't mean well at all. They just have these intentions of wanting it all for themselves. Now, as it relates to things like voting, believe it or not, once a community has a strong economic base, it really doesn't matter who is in the office to represent them, because with a strong economic base, they can control that particular politician. The way I see it, it's imperative for us to get to the real power. You have a lot of people who are representatives and they have absolutely no power. And you have a lot of characters who are representatives that once they get in there, they do all sorts of trash. So people have to be aware of the fact that not everybody who's in there representing is going to speak for you. So people have to stand together collectively and say, you know what? This is what we're looking for. And if you're not going to do what we tell you to do, guess what? We are going to replace you. And the other thing that I would like to add is this whole thing about this group and that group. Many of these groups, I'm going to tell you tonight, are nothing but trash. And I tell you why they're trash. Because they're so caught up in the semantics. They're so caught up in this petty garbage that they don't see the big picture. So what if you're in a different religion? So what if you're in some different sect of whatever? The bottom line is you need to get money in your pocket. There's one particular set of characters that I heard of, and they would do their own thing on the street corner and hand out pamphlets and things like that. And I had said to one guy, why don't you get a building, a structure so that you can operate from? And the fool said that, oh, having a building would mean that they would have to pay money into the system. So a lot of these fools are pretty backwards and pretty stupid. And a lot of these fools have to be dismissed unless they want to come to the realization that they need some kind of structure. They need some sort of organization. You can make a lot of noise, as much noise as you want, and nothing is done. For example, the protests of the 1960s, the 1950s, and so on and so forth, with Martin Luther King and all these people, you can never ever deny the power of the protests at that time. You can never deny the way in which they marched for what they wanted. But today, the protest is over. And I'll tell you why it's over. Look what happens when the people go out in the street. They make a lot of noise, this and that. And what happens? Generally, not much happens. The days of the protests are over. It's all about economic power, putting things together, and dictating what you need done. Anybody can get into the street and make a fool of themselves. But what is the end outcome? So a lot of these people who have been around running up and down and making noise. The new generation is not listening to them because they know that these people are con artists. And a lot of these con artists have now run out of time because people have seen their works and realized that these people are just as corrupt as anybody else. So they're looking for ways to get over on people. Now, as it relates to these businesses, if you can connect with people who are actually business minded, because there are many people out there who are just a bunch of crooks, fine. But a lot of these people you're going to have to stay away from because they have this thing within them. And let me tell you something, anything you see in any community, you can find it in any other community. And I'll repeat that. Anything you see in one community, you can find it in another community. However, there are certain things in certain communities which are given more attention. It's more magnified. In other communities, people rob each other too. So don't ever believe that it's a situation where only certain communities do certain things. What happens in one community happens in another community. It's just that some communities have a little bit more spotlight on those things. So it makes it seem like it's really more than it really is. But what I was saying in terms of business is that you have to be able to find people who are professional in business. Generally, what happens a lot of times is you've got these con artists. They're not business people, and they're looking for who they can leech off, who they can use, who they can exploit. And I'll tell you something where a lot of these fools are insane. They rip people off and they run. They're by themselves. They have no backup, they have no help, and they go absolutely nowhere. You rip off your own community, guess what? You still have to return to your community, regardless of whether or not you like it or not. But a lot of these characters don't understand that. And like I said earlier, a lot of the older guys are doing things which are not acceptable, whereby they're misleading people to think things. Ideally, whatever skills you can get or whatever skills you have, you are to take those skills and put them inside some kind of organization that can hire people. And also, you have to make sure that you put your money aside. Don't let these fools tell you about this investment and that investment. The first thing you need to do is put some money aside. Before you can even dream of investing, you need to start putting some money aside because nobody has your back when you have $0 in your pocket. I'm done. Anybody else can go ahead.
Peace, peace, peace. Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. Um, I just wanted to say this. I heard what you said about, what I'm saying, as far as businesses and political power, as far as business is concerned. But I wanted to say this. First, let me give an example. When Barack Obama was the president, we had a record number of Asiatics being killed by police officers. Like under his watch. And I'm not um, comparing him at all to Donald Trump. But the point that I'm trying to make is the problem with the police officers killing Asiatics is in the law that allows them to get away with killing Asiatics. if we don't band together as a people to to like if we just rely on our business to try to influence government, it's only going to get us so far. You know what I mean? We got to work with some of these people. We got to elect these people, and we got to tell them what we want as far as the rules, and we got to hold their feet to the fire. The problem with the the Asiatics getting killed is it's written in the law basically. If a police officer feels that his life is threatened, he can use um, you know what I'm saying, he can use that force to neutralize that threat. But the problem with that law is you can't the judge can't like really judge what's in a police officer's head. That's why a lot of these Caucasians are getting off with murder from these Asiatics. It's because of that law that's enforced. So when we get together and we vote for certain parties, for certain people, we need to be in contact with these people and tell them what laws need to be changed. The power, whether you believe it or not, is in the people, but we're not in the position to have the numbers to get certain people where they're supposed to be. So like they're doing their own agenda. They're doing their own thing. They're passing their white supremacy laws. But at the same time, we do need the businesses to help build our communities. We need to build our hoods up. Our hoods need to be built up. We shouldn't have 1,000 Chinese stores on every corner. We need to have some soul food spots. We need to have, shoe stores. We used to be a people that we design clothes. We used to be inventors. We used to invent things. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is, don't just negate the fact that because you have a business that's going to no, that's not it. We need to come together as a people and vote for people and have them hold them to the fire for the things that we want until we can bring our people up into to the position to where they're actually running. We don't have any people that's really running for us. And the people that are running for us, at the end of the day, is going to fit what's good for them. So we need to hold these people feet to the flames and really get into politics and throw away this notion that your vote don't count. Your vote don't count because we're so fractured as a people. Like we don't come together and be like, yo, this is what it is. You know what I mean? Like these Chinese people, like with the well, I ain't gonna speak too radical on your joint, yo, but we should have our own corner stores. If you're business minded and you don't really know which route to go, look into finding out how you can own a vacant gas station. It's money in that. Like it's really money in that. Like that's like a corner store. You know what I mean? Get involved in your community. You know what I mean? Like if you got a neighborhood joint where you can clean up the neighborhood, do that. Like if you living in the hood right now and you want to get into, you want to invest in your hood, you got to think about things, ways to bring up the property value of the hood. We have the power to change the conditions that we live in, but we got to get up off our asses and stop caring about all this other frivolous things, man. You know what I mean? And we got to really step out of ourselves because at the end of the day, right now we're in a position to where we're fighting for our children.
Well, here's
We
what I'd
got to
like
lay
to
the
go ahead. Sorry.
we got to lay the foundation for our children. So the reason why I have that motto is, and I'm going to go back to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and a lot of people might not know this, but during the time of slavery, when the Prophet Noble Drew Ali was here on the earth plane, Asiatics wasn't allowed to vote. Um, but the Moors at that particular time were so together that they were actually able to vote, and they got a particular candidate in office, and they was able to get some things done. So if you guys ever get a chance, look at the model that Noble Drew Ali left. Noble Drew Ali left. Those things can be done, but the things that we have to look out for is the infiltrators that's going to come in. You're going to have your people that's not built from the same cloth, that is offered a certain amount of money, that is going to come in and try to do certain things. You're going to have to make some hard decisions, and I'm not going to speak too much into it, but like there's going to have to be some rules and regulations into what you guys are trying to do.
Well,
But at
here's
the end
some.
of the, but at,
Go ahead.
I'll say this one last thing, and I'll be done for the night. At the end of the day, we just need to figure out some sort of way to come together. If it's just one person at a time, you know what I mean. Just figure out a way to come together. Like do something different that you haven't done before. You know what I mean. Like you know what I mean. Ask for somebody's phone number if you don't know something. If you're not good at budgeting your money, and you know that that's hurting you. It's an art to budgeting your money. Like really, if really you supposed to be budgeting your money the same way that you will budget a business. Honestly, so like if you don't know how to budget your money, go to somebody who is a master at budgeting their money. Like don't just sit there and be like, you know what I mean, you live paycheck to paycheck. Like get your personal situation. Like you are stronger than like what you are right now. And I'm saying this out of experience because it took me a minute to get to the place to where I wanted to go to business. Like I always wanted to go to business, get into business for myself, but to put myself into the position to where in 6 months I can make over $100,000 profit, and that's just not me, my personal money. Like you know what I mean. Put yourself in the position, you know what I mean, to where you can help your family and you can do something for your community. You know what I mean? Like there's so much that we can do, man. Block parties, you know what I mean? And we can it's I'm done, yo.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But stay there, brother. Go ahead. Make your points. Like from.
Okay, so what he was saying with regards to the things happening in terms of people being killed in a number of different situations. It's definitely unfortunate. But what's happened is that the people are now waking up. And we know that they're waking up because they are now asking questions and saying that they're not going to tolerate certain things. A lot of things were going on in the past that were very, very bad. But with the cameras that everybody has access to, now people are seeing these things. So to me, these things are more visible. Now they're out in the open. Now it's harder for people to deny that these things are happening, because in the past they were able to deny because they didn't have it on tape. But now people see what's going on. The point I'm making is this: there are certain things that people are doing that they need to stop doing. And one of the things that they need to do, and I'm not defending people who are using inappropriate action, but what I'm saying is there's certain things that people need to be aware of. For instance, if you run away, the outcome is likely to be very, very bad. If you get on a certain way, and I know there are troublemakers out there, I'm not saying that there aren't troublemakers out there, but if you behave a certain way, it's likely for things to go sour. And like I said, I'm not saying that they don't have troublemakers out there who are looking for problems. But what has been a real benefit now is the camera, where people are able to capture these things. And now they have to be a lot more careful in the things that they're doing. For instance, where I'm living in Toronto, Canada, there's a situation in which a police officer went onto a bus. Everybody had gotten off the bus except for this kid who had a knife. And the police officer shot the kid a bunch of times, this and that. And it was on camera and it was all over the place. They sent the guy to prison for that. So I understand that there are problems, and I understand that a lot of things are happening that are still wrong, but now people are now waking up, and people are now recognizing that they do have the responsibility to come forward, and things can only go for so far. Take a look at it. Some people have wealth and they have power, and now they are being destroyed by their own greed. Their own greed has done them in because they want it all. Greed has no satisfaction. So, what I do see is that with all the information being spread around and people now speaking to one another, things are definitely going to improve and get better because it's all out in the open now. And people have to now look at it and say, you know what? We understand our past. And let me speak to you quickly about our past. The past that people speak about is the last 500 years. The last 500 years or so is really like last night. Our history goes back over 2,000 years. So, this 500-year period that they keep talking about is absolutely a small fragment of the overall history. Go back 1,000 years, and the community was powerful and had kings and different people and things like that. So, what you see is a situation in which people are now coming to see exactly what's going on, and people are now beginning to understand that things are definitely going to change. They have to change. The things that they had done to people 50, 60, 70 years ago, people aren't going for that. And people know that the time for this sort of nonsense is coming to an end because people are now aware. And the other guy had mentioned about leaving a legacy. You see, that is a very progressive mentality. And a lot of people in the community have this nasty mentality whereby they suffered, so the children must suffer and things like that. Those are people who will eventually die out. They will die out and people will come in there and recognize what's going on. So what I see is that you have this man who's now in office and he's making it very clear that you're going to have to take care of your own business because he's not going to take care of it for you. The last thing I'll say in closing is this: be prepared for another 4 years of this man because he does have a big supporter base, but also be prepared for, guess what? A lot of shocking things that this guy will do. Just be very, very prepared for a lot of shocking things that this guy will do.
All right, cool. Well, I'm gonna say I think as a brother want to come through, but I'm gonna chill for a few minutes. And this is my thing, you know, is for this that it's all about building. I don't care about, for me, I don't care about status. It's what you can bring to the table. And until we understand as a people and leave the status out, leave the egotistical mind out, and to understand that the black man care for his black woman, vice versa, the black woman care for the black man, and to understand we work as one unit. Because this is how I look at it. Advocate for yourself, advocate for your family, advocate for our community, and advocate for our nation. And that's what it's all about. Now, there's some people said that I don't want to deal with the past. Ancient times, okay, I can't quite understand it, but there are some things that we can learn from like 40, 50 years, even 100 years ago. And one of my heroes is Malcolm X. What Malcolm X means for me, Lena Horne means to me. And it's due for ourselves through trying times as a people. And we could learn from that. Like, I give you one case in point. My brother, Blood Boxing Return. I caught the like a month ago. I caught the end of it, but he said a valid point that sometimes, it's gonna be haters that ain't gonna see the bigger picture. And what we have to do, we gotta, we have to leave them alone and keep them doing what we have to do. And Blood Boxer Return, if you want to get on the chat, if you will get on the panel in a few minutes, you could drop an email and I'd be more than happy to get you on for a few minutes. But there's sometimes us as the people, we overanalyze things. We want things at a certain way. And sometimes there ain't nothing wrong start from the bottom. Ain't nothing wrong, but long as you keep on working, long as you stay the course. I always said this: stay the course. And I think that sometimes we miss little jewels like that. We miss little jewels that the old ones in the past have passed us, and we sometimes just let the atmosphere get the best of us instead of just slow things down. You see, I'm talking like this because I had to learn this when I got older. Because I always into our history, I always into our people. And not that many people know about it, because this is where I feel. I'm going to do what's right for me. And after that, I'm going to do what's right for my family, do what's right for our people. And people, oh, well, you should put this on you. I don't need to do all that. As long as I help our people, help our community, it's fine with me. You know what I'm saying? My joy is like, they doing it because The older ones had gave me some jewels when I was coming, so I had to pass out the jewels too. Sometimes we hold our jewels in, and then when we give out to the wrong ones, then it become like if it become empty opportunity, and we wonder why we're in this rut right now. And for me, as a black man, 52 years old, I'm still learning. But I know a little something. You know, on my channel, people could tell you, wherever I bring, I always going to impact our people. I always going to do whatever I can because our people needs to know, because some of our people do not know. On Sundays, I do cook. I show my food. But see, it's much more than that, because it's all about showing us again that we got to get back to fellowship as a family. That's what I bring to the table. Okay? Information like this, that's what I bring. I don't look for no, oh yeah, oh, look at all this view. Nah, you know what I'm saying? Wherever it's in, that's how I'm going to bring it. Now it's up. Now I'm not talking about the people in the chat. I'm not talking about people in the panel. I'm talking to people outside. It's up to you to learn from it and deal with it. That's your choice. And I think that sometimes that, you know, we worried about who we want to get. We just, wherever it is, just pass it on to impact and encourage and to educate our people. So when I hear these brothers, we could learn to minimize the negativity, especially us as brothers. Because the hunt is on. You know, I know there's some people saying that, you know, we need to do it for ourselves. You're right. Absolutely, we need to do it for ourselves. But we have to understand this is a oppressed system. They are not going to change. But it doesn't mean that we have to follow that. So we got to learn to adapt with the times. So that we got to inform each other. That means like Brother Sonny was saying, we got to exchange numbers. We got to do the same thing. And you know, and like, you know, like I give you K blood box in return. He died with the LDBC. Well, I know him for a long time. And one day he said, I like your channel. I like what you're bringing. That means a lot to me, because it goes to show that I'm staying the course. Do I fall off? Yeah, I fall off like anybody else. I ain't perfect. But the thing, when I hear that from that brother, and I know what he brings to the table, it's because sometimes I ain't gonna lie, sometimes I do want to give up. I do, because I feel it ain't all about people in the method. It just feel like I'm bringing something, and it's like nobody here. But we got to keep on. We got to push on. We got to keep on pushing. And even sisters out here now, I want y'all to hear this loud and clear. Okay, like Machine Power, thanks for coming. Very appreciate that. Like, sisters, and I'm talking about sisters in our community. There's a lot of women is going to run for Congress that some of them do not look like you, and they're going to talk about, you know, Roe versus Wade back in '73. No doubt, I hear that. But after that, you need to ask them the question: are you going to talk about the black agenda? Or it's going to take y'all to create the black agenda, and us as brothers, we got to be full firm support that. And that is the point, because a lot of us says, well, see, for me, I'm all about that work. And we have to hold each other accountable. It cannot be no gender no more, because it's breaking us up as a people. And sisters, understand what I'm saying. This, they talking about it right this minute. And make sure, if you know anybody that looks like us, that running for office, any kind of office, it could be city, it could be state, or it could be county, or even it could be nationally. And goes for brothers too. Ask them, is the black agenda is going to be top of the list? Because I always say this, and I know some people disagree on me of this. Of this oppressed system, we got trying to get what we have to for our people, but at the same time, we gotta build for our system. So one day, maybe it don't happen this lifetime, but it happened the next lifetime, we could leave this oppressed system and we can govern ourselves and we can have everything we want. But we gotta start from somewhere. We have to start from somewhere. And I urge any brother of any sister in the near future, you want to talk about solutions? I'm the one. We could talk about it. Long as you don't disrespect my platform, long as you don't disrespect the people on the of the panel, and even the ones in the chat. That's what I'm all about. And I feel very strong about what I'm saying. I feel very strong of fighting for our people. Because like I said at the beginning of the stream tonight, still lasts in the human race. Now, little of it is our fault in the system. You know how I feel about it. But especially us as a people, the black man, the black woman, we got to sit down and talk about our difference. We got to sit down, and I'm talking about grown-ups. I ain't talking about no young whippersnappers. I'm talking about grown-ups. We had to sit down and figure this out because once upon a time, we was a strong unit as a family. We didn't get no vote. We couldn't even vote in this goddamn country. But we can find a way to come together. We have examples in the past in our history, family. Now, I'm gonna go say what by my channel. Then I'm gonna read the chat. Then my brother, then Sonny Bay gonna say what he have to say, and then I'll say my last whatever it is. But every Monday, the Underrated Sports Show on this channel, I be with my co-host and my brother, She Stay Sleep, every Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on this channel, the Underrated Sports Show. Come and check us out. We have a good old time. Sonny, you come too. Blood Sports Boxing, I want you to come too. All right. As always, you always gonna see me at times drop the powerful live stream on video. I'm trying to do some more videos, but that's gonna be coming like in the near future. But I like to do live stream because I get my point across, and I like to reach out more people. But so on Sundays, I be showing my food early Sunday night. And we be fellowshipping. We be having conversations. I want y'all to check that out. Okay? Sometimes on Sunday mornings, if I'm up, I'll probably like do something. You probably eat with, all about fellowship. Eat with the family while I drop the information. And that's what I do. And I'm not just doing it on my channel. I do it outly too. And so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna read the chat out. Blood Boxing Return. I'm still waiting for you. If you don't want to come to the chat, it come to the panel. It could always be a next time, brother. But let me know. Let me know in a few. All right. You want to say whatever you want to say, or say in the chat. It'd be it'd be greatly appreciated. Because your contribution means a lot. All right? Shout out to Sister Lovely K. Shalom to you. Marquita, thanks for coming. She Stay Sleep as always. My brother. That's the one I talk about, the co-host. That's my brother of the underrated sports show. She Stay Sleep. Then we have to get the troll out, rightfully so, because I don't deal with trolls. I don't like trolls. Cashmere G. Thanks for coming, my brother. Thanks a lot, fam. Good brother Rob, the educator in our community. Always a blessing. Hope everything all right. Thanks for coming. Mama Rika, thanks for coming. Wealth to you and your family. Thank you. Cat PY2, thanks for coming. Greatly appreciated. Sonny Justice Bay, I'm gonna hit you up in a few. We go down here. See, I guess I got everybody. Oh, I'm sorry. Big L. Thank you so much. Life Machine Power. Thanks for coming. Kato Henson, thanks for coming, my brother. Shout out to Joint Theirs Magazine. That's his wife. That's his wife magazine. Check it out. I will spell it out for you. JOINTHERS. Let me speak. Let me speak. Let me spell out for Joint Theirs. Is JOIN. JOINTHERS. Joint this. I want y'all to check that out. She got some great. She deal with the arts in our deal with the arts in our community. Also do gospel stuff. Check them out. Right? Check out. You might hear from us soon. Go down the line. My nephew, leave him alone. Mike Big Boxer. Thanks coming through, nephew. As always, women of the past, thanks for coming. Miss seeing you. Come back. Be a regular again. Miss your contributions. As always, Blood Boxer returns. Support my brother. Subscribe and like to my brother. He be boxing. He be breaking it down. Heavyweight, all that. And also he has social content too. He be bringing the real, old school. That's what we need to hear, brothers. We need to hear that. All right. So subscribe to my brother and subscribe to these other, the one I read too. But subscribe to my brother, LDBC. Salute. DJ Yo-Yo, as always, thanks for coming. Appreciate that. Okay, hold on. Before I close this out. All right, I'm gonna shut you. Before I close, before I get the Sunny in, let me copy this down. So I like to copy things down so I can have it. But that's what it's all about, family. We have to do that. As always. So, but okay. All right, my brother, Sonny. If there's any last remarks you want to make before I close this out.
Indeed. Uh, just real quick, man. The last brother who spoke, man, I just wanted to drop something after he spoke to kind of correct something. real quick.
Mhm.
Um, the Europeans, and this is gonna be real quick. The Europeans has basically made it legal for the police officers to gun down our people.
Mhm.
That's the reason why these police officers get off. Like it's on camera. We march, we do whatever we do, and they get off. It's in the letter of the law on what the law is written. As far as the law is written, what police can do as far as excessive force. So the only way to change that is for us to get involved in our political affairs, which is something that we really don't do. All we do, pretty much, to be honest and straightforward, is complain. So think about that. I heard what he said, and honest to the brother, honest to it. You know what I mean? His dial thoughts. But the problem is in the letter of the law,
Mhm.
and we are a very powerful people, and we can do so much when we finally come together. Um, I want to say honest to Blue Blood Sports TV. I'm not sure if he's on right now. I heard you saying his voice. I know that when I watch his videos, I see something different in the brother. I see a lot of wisdom and how he speaks. You know, what I mean, I haven't had any type of conversation with the brother, but I can see a lot in that brother. So I just wanted to extend my honors to him. I want to extend my honors to you for what I mean, inviting me over. Honors to your spirit for the love for our people. You know what I mean? I am a more, you know
Mhm.
what I mean? But truth be told, me personally, I'm willing to set aside petty differences for the advancement of our people, and for the people who stuck around to hear, hear us speak and listen and then drop comments. Honest to you, and I hope that I was able to drop something for you to cause you to think. That might help change the conditions.
Mhm.
So with that, I say peace and love to everyone.
Peace and love to you, and I want to thank you. Take the time and come to the panel because sometimes there's some of us don't like to deal with the panel because we don't want to say it doesn't bother me. It's all about building, brother. That's what I'm all about. I don't mind putting my difference aside for the big picture of our people. And so I want to thank you for allowing me to accept, you know, because we need more brothers, man. We need more brothers and even sisters. I want to hear sisters too, because it's got the black woman. It's got to come from us, yo. It got to come from us. We have to change this up. But I want to thank your spirit. I want to thank keeping, and I'm all for in alignment what you're doing, and I greatly appreciate it. I'm greatly
And
appreciate.
can I say one more thing, yo? One more thing, and I'm done. Honest to you again, man, for inviting me, for inviting me in. You know what I mean? You didn't have to do that. So if you got my email address, if there's anything that you ever need, hit me up. For the people who are in the comment section, um, if you need any type of because I am embarking in the business world. If you need any type of advice as far as your finances or any way that I can help you, you know what I mean? As long as you have the spirit of one who wants to work and not waste one's time, I'm open to help anyone in my brother's what I mean, comment section. So um, you know what I mean? You can get with the brother to you know what I mean, find out information about me, or that's I'm just extending um my hand for any of our people that need some help in particular areas of business and finance. And I'm done with that. I say peace, brother.
All right, peace to you and peace to everybody. And this been I'm glad that I opened this conversation up. I'm happy that the conversation has been extended. I thanks for Life Machine to come through, my brother Sonny, and the rest of y'all come through. And just remember, it's gotta start from us first. The black man and the black woman. We have to repair our own family unit. And we have to educate economics. We have to get back to economics. We have to fight for our rights, no matter what it takes. Let's do that. And when we do that, we be on our way. And hopefully one day we can repair the illness of our people and we could stray our kids the right way. The African way is to be together. So on that note, I am Ghost. Peace. Ghost.